Welcome, everybody. We're excited to have you today. I'm Emily Weiler with the Montana Public Health Training Center. And I'm here with Sean Hines today. And this is just an informational session. We don't usually do these, but this is kind of a quick intro to a course that was created with help from the state, from MPHA, us here at the university, and then Rocky Mountain Public Health Training Center as well. There's a lot of people involved, and we're really proud of this course. And it's a free resource for the state of Montana. And so we're just trying to get the word out more and more any way we can so that people can make use of this. It's a resource that I wish I had 2 years ago when I kind of switched positions into this public health role, and I didn't know what a lot of this stuff was or what the state public health system looked like. So we're just excited to introduce that to you today, to welcome any questions, and to make sure you know how to access it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sean to introduce herself and get us started on kind of the history of this course. And I'll share my screen too, because we have a few slides.
Wonderful. Thank you, Emily. My name is Sean Hines. I'm currently on the board with the Montana Public Health Association and retired in December after 30 years in public health at Riverstone Health. I'm really excited to introduce this course to public health professionals across Montana. The Montana Public Health Association is an association with the membership of public health workers in Montana, and our goal is to actually promote inclusive public health services and policies in Montana. We do that by lobbying with legislators, educating those legislators, developing trainings for our workforce. We host an annual conference each year with the Montana Environmental Health Association. So watch for that if you've not seen that. It'll happen again next spring. We also collaborate with partners and others to really strengthen public health practice. And so in 2017, a number of practitioners came together in a group called the Montana Public Health Workforce Development Group, actually hosted through Public Health Safety out of Department of Public Health and Human Services. And as that group came together, we noted that there was really a need to be able to strengthen the workforce through understanding the public health system in Montana. The group's mission, the workforce development mission, was really to improve Montana's public health by supporting the development of sustainable and competent public health professionals. And so this was really strategic in the development of this course. The Montana Healthcare Foundation actually hosted or gave us the opportunity to apply for a grant to be able to set this course up. And the target audience was really the goal of new public health professionals in Montana, actually looking at Board of Health to give them foundational elements with regard to public health practice in Montana and creating a sustainable public health system. And so with the Montana Healthcare Foundation grant, Montana Public Health Association actually worked strategically with Rocky Mountain Training Institute and the University of Montana. And I'm going to let Emily talk a little bit about the development of this course using the training center at the University of Montana and vetting the information. So Emily, thank you for your role and thank you for helping launch this great project.
I know I got to come in at the end and take some of the glory after a ton of work was done. We kind of slipped in and pushed it the last little bit, which was fun. Do you want to go through these slides?
So Emily, I actually talked a little bit about this, improving the health of the citizens and the target audience. So
you're super efficient. Oh my God, I didn't even keep up.
I should have told you to advance the slides. I apologize for that.
You're fine. I was gonna say, like, wow, we just rolled through that. And yeah, so the Public Health Training Center and the school here at the university, we got involved at the end there when most of the modules and everything were built. And we assisted with putting together focus groups for everyone to test them and to get that really good feedback before it went live. And so we did that, made final changes just in time for the MPHA conference this last spring, and it was ready to go. So that was a big part of our role. And right now our continued role is doing some of the maintenance of that course. So we run the registration, we collect the evaluation forms, and we're the liaison with Rocky Mountain so that if there's a major change that needs to be made, or in the future when we need to do updates, we can communicate that with Rocky Mountain as well. So that's the kind of maintenance we're doing. The course itself is on Rocky Mountain's platform. So it is located on their site, but we're able to collect a lot of the other data, like the registration data, which is really good for demographics. Let's see. So the training itself, there was 5 main topics we needed to cover. So history in our state, health, the health system, what it looks like, the services we have, current programs, and what that workforce looks like. So the modules that were actually built have these titles, and then they have subtopics underneath them. So what is public health? An overview of Montana, what makes that specific? Like what our unique qualities are in our state or challenges. The current public infrastructure in Montana, again, this would have been useful for me 2 years ago when I was trying to figure out who all the players were. Public health resources we have in the state, and then current, emerging public health issues. And that all of this, of course, will be updated every year and more often if needed as things change. So accessing the course, how do you find this thing? And then we'll talk, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So right now it is on our training webpage. We're going to try to put it everywhere. We keep encouraging, MPHA and all these other organizations to list it somewhere. But it's certainly on our page right now. Our website is listed up here, montanapublichealthtrainingcenter.org. There's a mouthful. And on our training page at the very top, listed as one of our ongoing trainings, is this Public Health 101 course. So that's one of the easiest ways to find it. And when you click on it, you'll get some information and a registration link. And just like any of our other trainings, the registration is just a survey form, put in your name and all of that. And when you register, it triggers an email to be sent to you. And because this course isn't on our platform, it's on Rocky Mountain's, it gives you instructions on how to access the course. So it gives you the website, it gives you how to log in and create an account and all of that kind of information. There is construction happening above me right now. So if you hear some rumbling, that's what it is. It should be intermittent, and I do apologize for that. So accessing the course, it is of course desktop friendly, but also mobile friendly. So if you want to do some learning on the go, or you have a tablet, or you're sitting somewhere and you just have your phone with you, it does work on both platforms just fine. And I'm going to walk you through what it looks like and kind of just what it contains, so you know what it's for. So let me get out. I'm going to stop sharing real fast so that I can pull up the course. And then I'll reshare here. Okay. So Sean, can you see that homepage? Perfect. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you get to it. Again, this is on Rocky Mountain's eLearn platform. You can see, so I've logged in already. Otherwise, there'll be a little button in the upper right that you can log in with your credentials. You can see that at this point, I have completed the course. And make sure I'm not freezing. So at the very top here, it gives you an idea of how far you are along in the course. Now, something that's really nice about this course, and that we mention here in the top, is it is designed to be self-paced and self-directed. You don't have to go through it in any specific order. There's a ton of information here. And so if you have, let's say, an employee that's brand new and doesn't have any kind of formal public health training, maybe comes from a different state with a different system, it might be good for them to run through every part of this. And then they have that full set of information. But this is also good for anyone who just wants a refresher. And so you can pick and choose which portions you want to watch, and nothing relies on another module. So it is, self-paced and self-directed. It doesn't matter how you move through it. I'm going to scroll down here. There's those topics that I had in my slide, and I'm going to click expand all, and it shows all the subtopics. And there's a bunch of them. So I'm going to start with what is public health, and we'll let it load. You can see there's a nice little toolbar, or a navigation pane here on the left. If it's annoying, you can collapse it. But otherwise, you can do your navigation from the side, or you'll notice on the very bottom right and left, there'll be little buttons that can take you to the next module as well. This one tells me I've already done it. Obviously, you can return and do it as many times as you want, but that will tell you if you've completed it already. I just saw the comment in the chat. I had an MSU student nurse do this on her first day. That's fantastic. That's what we want. If anything, I remember I always joke that one of my biggest challenges was trying to learn all the acronyms and that kind of thing, and who is who, what is NPHA? They seem important. I remember when like the first week, I was like, I think I need to know who they are. So this course really does help orient people, especially if they're new. So for every one of these modules, that first landing page gives you the SMART objectives of what you'll gain from that material, and then any of the subtopics that are contained. This first module, what is public health, has only one little subtopic, and I'm going to click on it. And most of the content here is in the format of videos. And so there's lots of them, but they're pretty darn short, each one. So here we have an introduction of the 5 core topics of public health, and then these really nice squares down here. I find this course very attractive. I think it's pretty. But basically, any of these you can click on will take you to a video. And I'm just going to let us watch this little one on epidemiology so you can get an idea of what these look like. See that?
Yes.
Biostatistics is the next core topic in public health. Simply put, biostatistics is the use of statistics in the medical and health field. Biostatisticians interpret scientific data to understand it, disentangle it, and help us to solve public health problems. Many times, biostatistics is done in collaboration with scientists and researchers. Biostatisticians are truly data specialists. Biostatistics may sound similar to epidemiology, and you may be asking yourself what the difference is. Epidemiological investigations and research use biostatistic methodologies. However, you will often find that biostatisticians work in clinical trials and research.
Okay, so there was an example of, again, it's animated, it's narrated. If I click on those little arrows to the left, I go back to that main window. And so 5 core topics of public health. And then if I scroll down, there's some videos on foundational public health services, and then a little conclusion at the bottom of this module. The next module is the overview of Montana. So again, here's your SMART objectives up at the top, and this one's split into 2. This is a nice one, again, if someone's coming from maybe a different state and doesn't understand some of what makes us unique. So things like just how large a state we are, how many people, you know, challenges that we have, types of people that live here, how many people. Yes, we have, I think, more cows than humans at this point, that kind of thing. So you can see here the history of Montana from 1700 to present day. So there's information about our counties, our population, what kind, you know, our status sort of, we've got everything from, you know, mountains to plains. This is a really nice introduction to what all of that looks like. And then our government. So again, our Montana legislature and lawmaking in Montana. And of course, these will be updated as legislature changes throughout the years. So that's about Montana in general. And then the next topic in this module, it's loading, there we go, is specific, of course, to public health here. So the origin of local public health in Montana and state. And then some really cool audio from experts from different publications about diseases in Montana. So blue disease, the Spanish influenza, and polio. So, and some references as well. So that's in the Getting to Know Montana section. And again, I want to just walk you through so you know what this contains. So if you have an employee or someone, or you yourself are interested, you can see if this is a good fit. I certainly encourage everyone to poke around because it is a free resource. So certainly want everyone looking at it. So that's loading. So public health infrastructure, there's your objectives. We have the Public Health Act and core public health services. Department of the DPHHS, so what do they do? Local and tribal public health agencies, sanitarians, public health nursing, professional associations, that's like your MPHA, and then other stakeholders in Montana. And that includes people like us at the training center and the university, which can be really nice when you're not exactly sure who to reach out to with a question. And we'll let that load and I'll show you what it looks like. So an idea of all of the different pieces that make up public health and some that you might not think about, how they're correlated. And then here's a variety of collaborators with your educational research institutions, nonprofits, government agencies, and affiliated associations. And if I scroll down here, there's some foundations too. Again, this project was funded by the Montana Healthcare Foundation. And so here now you can go down and look at some of these community-based organizations involved in public health. And there's a link on all of these so you can access more information about them. DEQ, different hospitals, universities, there's us. So this is a really nice resource to see some of the other organizations that are working together in Montana. The next module are additional resources in Montana. So data sources, some public health system planning activities, and funding opportunities for public health in Montana. So I'm just going to click on system planning so you can see some resources here. We have community health assessments and improvement plans. Really important. I know a bunch of people are doing CHAWS and CHIPS right now. Strategic planning, quality improvement, accreditation and reaccreditation information, emergency preparedness, and then workforce development assessment and plan. And again, you know, there's a lot of assessments that seem to be going on at the state at any given time. We have lots of data coming in and another really big workforce assessment that will be coming out by next spring as well. So that information will be here along with the new workforce plan. So these will always be updated with new information, but is a great place that has all of this information in one spot. And then the last module is the emerging public health issues in Montana. So we'll let that load. And do know what's nice, and I've seen all of these, so it won't pop up for me, I don't think anymore. But if you've already gone through and poked around this course and then the legislature, you know, and we have a new session or something changes, if you come back and click on one of these topics, a little window will pop up that says, you know, the material has changed. And it will mean that your course isn't complete anymore, which means something new. And then you just click OK, and then watch that module, and that's your updated information. So it will be updated as often as possible as things in the state change. So we encourage folks to certainly come back to it as well. So public health challenges in Montana. So there's a video there, some basic information, and then some major issues that, you know, we've been seeing in the state. So environmental and climate change, infectious disease, vaping, etc. And then at the very end, of course, there's an evaluation. Course eval, this is what trickles back to us at the university. It's of course anonymous. And this gives us an idea of, you know, how it's going, and it's given us some really good feedback already. We found an error in some of our material, and so someone made a note in the eval, and we were able to get that changed at Rocky Mountain right away. So we definitely look at this evaluation consistently to make sure if there's anything that you see that doesn't make sense, or maybe it's out of date. You know, this is what we look for. And then once you've filled out the evaluation, it triggers you to get an email. I should say there's a button down here. Do you need a completion certificate for this course? So a lot of people don't, you know, they're just here for information, and that's fine. But the Public Health 101 course is being integrated into things like at the university, we have a few micro-credential courses that are being built that utilize this tool. And so if you need a completion certificate to say, yes, I went and did this, that's when you will mark this yes. And if you do that, when you click next page, there'll be a separate little spot where you can put in your name and the date, and then and your email address. And so then when you've submitted that, and again, your name does not get tied to your evaluation results. So your evaluation is still nice and anonymous, but now we know where to send your certificate, and you'll get an email with the information that says, yes, you completed the course, and you can use that for proof for the micro-credential. So just an understanding of how that works. If you need one, just mark this yes button. And if you don't worry about it. So that's the basics of this course. As we said, it's a free resource. Like I said, we're just maintaining it and updating it, but anyone can use it. And that's why we're just trying to get the word out. I think we had 82 people sign up for it so far since April. And we just wanted to make sure that even more people know about it, that folks that are hiring know that they can use this as a tool for orientation. And that if there's anyone that just wants a little refresher, or if there's someone in your community that needs to know more about the state or laws or some of the strategic tools, that they can use this. So that's the overview, quick and dirty. And I would like to open it up if anyone has any questions. And then I'm also going to put a link in the chat right now to the information page on our website, so you can immediately access this if you want to go look at it. So I'll stop sharing for now, but does anyone have any questions? And you're free to use the chat box as well.
Hi, this is Vicki in Plentywood, and I've tried to sign up, and it doesn't seem to work for me. I've tried my county address, and I've tried my Gmail address, and it keeps it lets me do the registration, and then it pops me right back to the sign-in page. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making. Should it do that? No,
it shouldn't.
Okay.
If you don't mind, I'm going to put in the chat box, I'm going to put my email.
Okay.
You can email me directly. We will figure out what's going on. Every so often people have a little trouble getting in. I'm not sure why there's a little glitch occasionally. We certainly encourage anyone that's attempted to try in or has any trouble to get a hold of us, because we'll fix it on our end one way or another. But I did put my email in the chat. Vicki, please get a hold of me personally, and we'll figure out what's going on so you can access it.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry you're having trouble. Technology, sometimes. Okay, so in the chat as well is the link to the Public Health 101 information page, and you'll see that there's a link on there to register, and it has a little bit of information about the course. And my email address is on that page as well. So happy to field questions about logging in, or again, changing any of the content if something seems inaccurate, any of that.
There's a question in the chat, Emily. Do you need to take the whole course, or can you take a variety of the modules?
You can take as much or as little as you want, unless you're using it with that micro-credential, because then you need to do the whole thing. But again, that's the glory of it, is they're all independent modules. So you can just pick around at things that are interesting or that you might need. You don't have to do all of it, and you can come back as often as you want. It's not like a course where you have to take it within a certain amount of time either. You can just keep returning to it and logging in. Oh, excellent. Michelle, I took this course. I love the history of Montana that was included, and I learned some new things that I didn't know. I felt the same way about this course, and especially the history of Montana too. And the history of public health in Montana is really interesting. So that's why I encourage everyone to look at it. There's going to be stuff in here that you might be an expert on, but there might be some pieces that you don't know, and it just makes us, more well-rounded, and we're all, have the same information when we're working with the community or our partners. Is there any other questions?
Emily, this is Sean. Early in your presentation, you had indicated that we could actually host this on our websites.
Yes.
Is there in which that we can do that, so that individual health department websites have the link and can set that up for their employees?
Yeah, I would say however works best with your IT, and I'm happy to work with that person. But basically, as long as you have the link that I put in the chat, give that to your IT department, whoever that is, and say, post this somewhere. And most web pages will either have like a resources page, maybe a frequently asked questions page. Or like we're going to put it on our homepage as well. So it's right out there in the front, like, hey, here's a resource so people can find it easy. As we know, if you have to click too many times, people aren't going to do it. So that's why we want it on as many sites. And so certainly take that link I posted. I was going to say, let's see, because the training course, because it's not through us and it's through Rocky Mountain, I want everyone to link from our webpage to theirs. So again, that's why I'm saying use the link that I put in the chat, so to direct people so that they can register through us. I hope that makes sense. Did that answer your question, Sean? Awesome. And again, always happy to field those kind of questions. If you shoot me an email and you're like, I want to put this on our county page, what's the best way to do that? I'm not IT and I don't, but I'm happy to talk to those people and make sure they have whatever works, however they want to embed this. Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. I recommend it to my director. Yeah. It's a really nice tool. And we'll have it long into the future. It's not going anywhere. So again, you have time to take it. There isn't like a deadline on it that you need to use this resource by the end of the summer or anything. It'll be there for a long time. Is there any other questions? You'll notice when you do take the evaluation at the end that there's spots where you can add in general comments too. So, right now we work with a lot of people to create this content, and I feel like we have a really good mix of information. But if we're missing something, or there's a resource out there you think might be integrated and could be a really cool addition, let us know. There's definitely a chance that we missed something that we could add to this at some point. So we've already gotten some evaluations with that kind of stuff, like, hey, you should reference this really cool resource. So please help us make it better. We really encourage that. You can email me with that kind of stuff too. I'm excited to have so many of you on here and some folks that have already taken it. How many people who here has already taken this course or accessed it? Can you put in the chat? I'm curious if most of you are new or if you guys have poked around. Started it, cool. At least got one. Maybe the rest of you are new. That's fantastic. Go and try it. Learn some new stuff. And that's pretty much what we have today. I want it to be always a longer presentation, but there's just not much else I have to say about it. Samantha, awesome. I hope you like it when you check it out. So I hope this was really useful just to introduce you to this tool. Please contact me with questions or technical difficulties. Please throw it on your own county web pages and make sure your staff know about it, either your supervisors or anyone working under you or with you. A lot of work was put into this, and we just want to make sure it's useful. Thank you so much, Sean, for giving us some history in the beginning of it.
Thank you, Emily.
Yeah. All right. Well, unless there's any other questions, I will give you the gift of time back and get us out at 30 minutes. That was nice and efficient. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I look forward to hearing from you if anybody has any comments, and have a wonderful afternoon.